Hey everyone, welcome back to the finale of A Very Merry Doomsmas on the CorderyFX channel. Today we'll be discussing something important. Not in terms of culture, not in terms of what the world needs, but it's what we want. What a new Doom movie should be. So today I'm joined by...
Hey, I'm Brendan from the Transformers commentaries and Epps is a God.
Epps and Bill Duke. So you do game design?
Yes, I am about to finish a game design degree in 9 days, and I played the living fuck out of the Doom games. Particularly the very first ones. When I was younger, I played the shit out of the original Doom game. Not so much Doom 2, but Final Doom afterwards I played the shit out of as well.
Nice. I'm also joined by my childhood friend.
Hi, I'm Vince. I've been making music for Daniel's channel for a while, and we've been collaborating on various things. And one of the reasons I'm here on top of that is because, much like Brendan here, I'm a huge fan of Doom, and the original games especially. And much like him, I really got into it around Final Doom era, and I've just been kind of keeping up to date with, Doom-related content ever since. And yeah, so I'm a musician, so that's what I focus on when it comes to critical thinking regarding this kind of stuff. But yeah, I just love everything Doom as well.
What we're going to be doing is discussing what we think a brand new Doom movie should be. We've sat through Doom 2005. We've deemed that it's aping off the success of Resident Evil that came out the year before. It barely resembles Doom at all, except for one first-person shooter, and they say UAC a few times. And there's a BFG in it. Inspirations from the Doom games. What do we pick from? I feel like Doom 2005 did most of his cherry picking from Doom 3.
Which is the worst one to draw from, in my opinion.
But Doom 3 is such a drastic
departure on the style.
Doom 3 is like putting your foot in the waters of uncharted territory, but still trying to stay safe. It's just 1 foot in the unknown.
There's this like I said before, it's this Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
Again.
Except you fight a cyber demon at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I got something to say about that when it comes to the question of what Doom games would you draw from to make a movie. But I'd like to say that I think the original couple of Doom games I think they shouldn't be forgotten, especially when it comes to aesthetic. I know that they were pixelated old games from the 90s, but at the same time, the things that I liked about the original Doom games was it felt pretty uncensored the way that they were doing both the violence, some of it was entirely out in the open, and it was just gratuitous in a way that to me was satisfying.
Yeah.
And the satanic imagery and the reinforcement that hell is a real place, it's a real threat. So things like satanic, imagery, whether it be ghost heads or pentagrams, candles in the corner of the room, that kind of stuff, like skulls on spikes, those are things you would see in the original game, where it's just here's a dismembered body, impaled on a spike, and you haven't even started the level yet.
Yeah.
Those kind of things that are, that kind of gratuitous violence in reference to not only hell, but all the things that come with it. And I think if you turn that up a bit more for a movie, it'd just give you a bit, the whole thread of the movie, a bit more gravity.
Yeah.
And Doom 2016, the game does a good job of that, but I think the original 2 games were even less censored when it came to, them reinforcing the threat. And you also had no other people helping you.
Yeah.
You didn't see anybody else. Occasionally, which Brendan will know this, but when you're playing through some of those early Doom levels, you'll see another dead Marine. Here's another guy in a green suit who's fucking dead. So there's been a few other people that have tried to fight their way through the same area.
Yeah.
But
that's also a massive thing about Doom 2016 is what happened right before you woke up. And one of the collectibles in that game is you take USB chips out of fallen soldiers who have died along the way.
Yeah, you just happen to be the most badass one, and that's kind of the whole premise of it. And if you were to make a movie drawing from the games, I think that's the thing you'd have to hammer home. And I think that as a movie that would work, you'd need to capture the experience, because I think that Doom is more of an experience than it is a story. You're not trying to tell an elaborate story with twists and turns. You're not trying to have like character development in like in a fucking, you know, romantic, you know, comedy kind of way. You're not like having people have character arcs. That's not the point of this type of movie or game.
It's kind of funny because that's an issue they came across with Doom 2016 is they literally started gameplay and level design first. Building levels, yes, this is fun, this is it. And then they save the story to the end, like, what the fuck is the story? How do we explain it? Do we have like tutorials? Do we have like cutscenes? Blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, no, there's too much story. I would
find the codex.
Yeah, codex. Let's put all the backstory and everything you can read later if you want.
I think you could put like a lot of things in the background or as sort of consequential for the Doom guy to sort of stumble across if you wanted to include more exposition. It'd have to be very visual, in my opinion, because the Doom guy doesn't talk. He doesn't interact with other people because his sole mission is to destroy things, which makes it a bit of a challenge to make a movie that's engaging in a way that people would understand, because you don't have tons of dialogue in a movie like that.
Yeah. Plus, you make a character that doesn't need anyone else.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Like
because
Doom guy doesn't need Samuel Hayden.
You're right. Like
Doom guy doesn't need Vega.
Even other horror movies and action movies, they're like, oh, but as friends we got through it together. No, Doom guy is just himself. He just
like
destroys.
the 2006 movie. It's just like we got to give Carl Urban's Doom guy a friend in The Rock, and then so he can portray him later. It's like, no.
The original Doom games being 1 and 2 and their expansions, and Doom 2016 did a good job of recapturing that, but also adding some story.
Yeah.
Because Doom 16 did a better job of incorporating, like an actual story without actually burdening the whole premise of the game.
That being said, I love 2016's whole reason of demons is they were mining energy from hell.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
The fact that
there was a reason for humans being there. That's another important thing that I didn't think of.
Because you need that like thing where even though it's a completely evil plot, it's still with the best intentions. Where it's
There's
just
no
like
black and white. It's always grey areas.
And that's why I think Samuel Hayden's a compelling character. He's like, I know we're fucked up, but it was in the best interest of humanity. Like, and then Earth has no power anymore. It's like, where do they find it? Hell. So I'm not unfamiliar with the original Doom games in terms of their story.
They just accidentally open a portal.
Yeah, basically that's it.
But they are scientists though, and the whole UAC, Union Aerospace Corporation, was like an extension of Earth scientists trying to find an alternate energy source. So like I'm pretty sure that like that story is carried through all Doom games, including Doom 3.
Right.
Like they were actually trying to find
the Doom
energy.
guy's just a renegade marine.
Yeah,
basically.
he just is the most badass of them all, and then they expand on that in Doom 2016 when it comes to him being the Doom Slayer and there being like historical reasons for him being there and like you know all that kind of stuff.
Historical and biblical.
Well, yeah, you know, all sorts of things.
May we never need you again.
Yeah.
That's another thing I'd want to see with the Doom guy. It's I always think about how you could portray him in a film, and the thing that comes to me is Fury Road with Mad Max. It'd have to be something like that, but where Mad Max isn't just put into like a situation he can't control. The Doom guy controls all of it.
Yeah. Well, in 2016 game, there's something connected to the Praetor suit, Samuel Hayden, that he can like control it. So when you go to his office and you get like zapped, and he's just like, sorry about that, we've got some connection to your suit, and I knew you wouldn't let us do that willingly, so we had to take it. So
can I point out another thing that I just realised from you saying that when it came to the original games? Like there was an element of puzzle solving.
Oh no, God no.
Like a little bit, man. Like for example, like finding keys and stuff.
That's it,
dude. The fucking backtracking in those games.
But that's another thing I mentioned in the commentary. That's
and secret locations, like opening walls and
movies.
finding stuff, you know, or finding like secret locations was
you
a
get
big
a
part
key, you
of
have
the
to
original games.
fucking find where it goes.
Yeah, and like
you get lost.
And then you'll just walk into an entirely new area where there's more monsters that you didn't fucking realise were there.
I don't think you'd put that in the movie where it's like Doom guy finds the key and he's just like, where does this go? And he's just lost for half an hour.
I just remember that was an.
But if it's like that, it should be Jack Black. Should be the fucking Doom.
It's a totally different type of movie. That'd be a parody. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, and then he'll have like a little midget demon friend that. Hey Jack, you gotta go this way. Thanks, little dude.
A comedy Doom movie would be a totally different thing, but
yeah, I'm not doing that. So you can't just go, all right, we'll make a Doom movie with absolutely zero inspirations from anything else but the source material. There's got to be some sort of movies that, if you were pitching this film to a studio exec, and then they're like, all right, so what's this movie sort of like? It'd be like, well, not like Resident Evil. Let's just jot that down. But other movies as an inspiration.
Other movies inspiration, straight away the pacing of Fury Road is what I'd say.
Yeah.
You get like the pacing in that movie is perfect. Then for art, I just say Aliens again. But it's not dark corridors and stuff like that. It's more open. It's more of an action set than Aliens.
Also, in terms of the set design of Aliens, a lot of it is like it's like Hadley's Hope. It's like a lived-in world too.
Yeah.
Like the scene where they go into that lab where like the facehuggers are in tanks. They see like the desk and there's like half-eaten donuts and like coffee cups filled with rainwater that's still dripping in them. A lot of the Doom 2016, you can go into like cafeteria rooms. There's posters on the wall to like join the cult, donate your heart to the to make a baron or whatever.
Really good martial arts movie. It's recent. It's only the last 10 years.
Raid.
The Raid 2.
Raid 2?
Yes, that sort of fucking action I'd put in it as well.
Right.
But you wouldn't. It just wouldn't be martial arts. It'd be martial arts and gunplay and more gunplay. Yeah, the violence and the intensity and the kinetic energy. I'd say, like how fast everything's moving.
Look at the glory kills of 2016.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you could have a gunplay sequence and it goes into that sort of crazy action, and you just
because it just stops it from just being shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would switch up the pace a bit.
Have Doom guy lose his gun.
And lose his helmet.
That's all that stuff.
Because like in 2016 where you get the Berserk power up.
Yeah.
There's one of my favorite glory kills, which is only through that, is when you grab an imp on his head, and you fucking just rip its head in half.
Imagine like that sort of like action. He loses his gun with a Baron of Hell. He's got his chainsaw left.
Yeah.
And you just
although
that
you
action
wouldn't
sequence together with the chainsaw.
in the movie, you wouldn't be like, I need chainsaw and all this ammunition falls out. You got any?
Yeah, I've got only one movie sticks out to me immediately, and that would be like 300. It's just because
I think that's a suggestion you'd like, Brennan.
It's because it's a small number of well-trained troops against like a huge, endless fucking sea of enemies, and that's
UAC tonight we dine in hell.
Yeah, pretty much. And like the thing is,
Doom guys, I'm not dying.
the other thing about that is their spirit of just fighting till the end, and that's Doom guy's thing. He doesn't fucking quit. He never stops or goes home or tries to escape. He never walks backwards, as we've talked about before.
Yeah.
He just keeps fighting, and that's what the Spartans did in that movie, and that's why I would kind of compare that's why I would draw from that movie as an inspiration for a real Doom movie, is that reinforcing that character, just that tenacity to keep fighting.
Yeah. Push forward combat.
Yeah. It is almost a little bit simpler than that, but you could humanize them in a way, even ever so slightly.
Alright, so I've got my movie selections, which I've made sure to save till my talking points.
Is the Raid 2 on there?
No. Because I wanted to be different, alright? My first pick, Dread from 2012.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. I don't know how either of us forgot that, because Brendan and I are both fans of that movie massively, and neither of us thought of that.
And you know what my first thought was when I was getting to the world of Doom? Like, man, the Doom guy is just like Carl Urban's Dread. And then I was like, who'd play a great Doom guy? Carl Urban. I'm like, Carl Urban did play Doom guy in the Doom movie. The only problem is it's not a Doom movie, therefore he's not Doom guy.
Is this getting confusing, guys? The Doom movie is not a Doom movie, and it should have been a Doom movie with Carl Urban, who was the Doom guy, who should be the Doom guy later.
Carl Urban is fucking definitely the Doom Slayer. Hands down.
Yeah, like, if you even want him to talk, but like, Dread is that character. It's just like, and Doom ends with, it's the Doom Slayer. He doesn't have an arc in terms of his character. He doesn't learn anything. As far as he's concerned, it was just another day in the life of Doom guy. Like when Dr. Samuel Hayden is like, I can't kill you, but until we see each other again. And then I'm assuming Doom Eternal will just start exactly the same way Doom 2016 started. You just start killing demons again. That's the way Dread starts and finishes. Another day in the life of Dread. Despite how much he went through in that film. All the bad guys he killed, made his way to the top, killed the top boss. Oh, back on the bike. I'm going to get home. Same again tomorrow.
It's just what he does, and I understand that comparison.
It's his day job.
Yeah,
basically. Just
like the Doom guys. Day job is to kill all demons and save something.
I don't think he cares about saving anything.
He does know that if demons are around, then no one's safe. So, but yeah, the character of Dread is just so like, he's like ready for violence, but he's not emotional to show it.
It's almost like they're both too entrenched in their duty that they don't have time to think about, like, too hard about what's at stake.
Yeah, well, they're too war-torn to doubt.
Yeah, like they
who they are,
don't
what
doubt
they're
their
doing.
actions or what they're doing. They're just
like, this is what I have to do because.
Yeah,
There is no other way.
Like, I am a soldier in this war. Like, why the war is happening is none of my business, like, in both cases. So, like, when you think of Dread or Doomguy, it's like, well, there's an opponent, that's my task, and that's it.
Yeah. Another one of my movie references is one of the greatest Arnold Schwarzenegger films of all time.
Running Man.
Commando.
That's close.
Twins.
Junior, I'm pregnant. Now, I had this idea of like the way, when you are the Doom Guy, the way you charge into battle with all these guns, you kill with ease, no stakes at hand, you get injured a bit, get back to the battle. When Arnold Schwarzenegger rocks up to Valverde, the fictional country, to save his daughter, just from that moment until he fights Fat Freddie Mercury, it's just a barrage of gunfire, bazookas, axes, throws the buzz blade.
Cardboard cutout, man.
Oh, little figurines in front of a model that stay stiff when everything blows up. But I thought of that, and like, that's a perfect way to like not just show the character but also the action. And then I looked at that scene on YouTube, and then I added BFG Division from Mick Gordon, and I was like, oh my god. Those are my main two references in terms of action, maybe character motivation, but I've actually got another one in terms of plot structure, which is very unorthodox, I feel, for this. And the other one is Reservoir Dogs. This is just my first comparison with it, but what I'm talking about is how you have a plot. That plot literally starts with all the destruction and bad stuff's already happened, and now it's just the aftermath of it. The movie starts with after the bank heist, where everything fell to shit.
Yeah.
That's how Doom 2016 starts, where demonic invasion in progress. And then you just wake up like, all right, here's a pistol and kill some demons, and like, oh, shotgun, off you go. I feel like Reservoir Dogs does a great way of that, because when you start it off with no exposition at all, no information, and then it starts getting fed to you in tiny bits, then that's what your plot is. It's just uncovering the mystery of how did everything turn to shit. Where you don't start it the way the Doom movie did, where it has like intro monologue of, the UAC Corporation is a blah 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 on the set of the Mars station. Just bam, just like the game, and also just like Reservoir Dogs, you're straight into it. As the movie goes along, and you start introducing characters, which I'm mainly pointing out is with Dr. Samuel Hayden and Olivia Pierce from the 2016 game. I reckon those are really compelling characters that they created. And in this movie with the Reservoir Dogs reference, you have a first act of just action, setting up the world, and then you can do like these flashbacks beforehand.
I think you're right. I think you need more than... I think if you have characters other than Doomslayer, that would work better for a movie format. Because I'm just wondering, like, again, like I said before, the challenge of making a Doom movie properly is you need to make it true to what the game's delivered and the reason people enjoy them and come back to them. But at the same time, it needs to be palatable enough without pandering to audiences. But what I'm saying is there needs to be something else there, and there needs to be intrigue. And if that's in the form of characters like Samuel Hayden and Olivia Pierce, then that might be what it needs to be. It doesn't even have to be them, but characters that operate like they do in the movie.
I just thought of another comparison, which would never be anywhere fucking on the same table as Doom. Pirates of the Caribbean. You love Jack Sparrow, you love Doom Guy. Fucking, they're the staple of the franchise, the funniest, wackest characters. But the most compelling character is in it. You have Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley. The main story and main arc is their story. And Jack Sparrow is just... becomes a part of it, but then can leave it. Becomes a part of it, and then can leave
Almost
it.
like Darth Vader in Star Wars.
Oh, Bob Hoskins in Super Mario Brothers.
Fucking hell.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Oh my god.
But no, you have Olivia Pierce and Samuel Hayden. They're like the compelling forces that battle each other, where Doom Guy can either be a part of their story or not. But when you go into something like Reservoir Dogs, where they set up, Harvey Keitel's backstory, or Michael Madsen's backstory, stuff like that, or Tim Roth becoming the double agent, it's like you've already got the characters, then there's a reveal, and then we take a step back to get more information about them, rather than you stop the story and just have Samuel Hayden be like, I started the UAC Corporation, and then my body was diagnosed with blah blah blah, and then I made a robot body.
You don't need exposition.
You don't need exposition, but I reckon a flashback not a
verbal.
flashback, not a flashback where
Nah, fuck flashbacks. I hate flashbacks in movies.
no, not flashbacks in terms of the fucking screen goes white and then there's a border of white around the edge and it's just like the ghost voice of like, remember the time I was a blah blah blah. But with Reservoir Dogs, it's not like a flashback. It's more like a chapter of a novel where a chapter can just be like, well, this chapter's gonna be set earlier, just to give you some more information. Samuel Hayden, robot body. Olivia Pierce, bitch. But it's like you're seeing Samuel Hayden human, and then he's just sorting out some kind of deal that's about to go forth, and then you'd be like, oh, so that must have led to the part where they go to Mars and then they cracked open that portal to hell, blah blah. Yeah, that's the way I think Reservoir Dogs and other movies like it that I can't think of right now handle the flashback without it being remember. And yeah, Olivia Pierce and Samuel Hayden are like the main plot structure that the Doom Guy just sort of bounces around. But then that's what's compelling about Doom Guy, and sort of like Jack Sparrow, where that
shit up.
that doesn't mean that just because they're the ones battling that they're gonna like just Doom Guy will just have to do whatever they want. Doom Guy can come and just fuck up both their plans.
Yeah, he's the one driving what happens to them.
Just like the Argent lens filter system in the game, where it's just like,
You need to remove each lens individually. Carefully release the hinges.
He's not motivated by the same things that other people are, and I think creating that contrast gives you, again, it's a peripheral way to reinforce his character. So you have two characters in the case of Doom 2016, Samuel Hayden and Olivia Pierce, where they have clear motivations.
Yeah, their motivations
And
are more
their motivations,
power struggles.
they're more human
anything, yeah.
power struggles, like the things that normal people would relate to.
yeah.
And then you get Doom Guy continuing to do what he fucking
Yeah,
does,
he wants to kill
despite
demons.
that.
Doom Guy is your contingency backup plan / wild card.
Yeah, he is.
He can fix the problem, but not the way you want.
Destroying the production of Argent energy isn't necessary.
Samuel Hayden thinks he can control him. Well, he does sort of in the end of the game, but
He doesn't control him, but he knows what to do with him. It's
Yeah,
like, I'll just
but-
remove you from the situation.
that's not, still he's just gonna fuck shit up.
Yeah.
He's gonna do what he wants to do.
And he even knows Doom Guy will be back. He's like, till we see each other again. It's just like, meanwhile, we just put him in a trash compactor.
The Doom guy is pretty much he's the fucking Punisher, really, in the Marvel
Yeah, the
universe.
intergalactic Punisher
Yeah.
of demons. Oh, another movie comparison was Total Recall.
Oh, no shit.
Oh yeah, 2005 movie did Mars in. They changed the Universal logo. They
They were
had
like-
Carl Urban look out of a window,
It
Yeah.
was a terrible fucking exterior.
and then in the background there's a
Yeah.
little window that you can also see Mars, and that's it.
There was like a total of 3 shots that I can remember from just watching the movie where there was any shot of Mars at all.
How would you know
and
that?
two of them were exactly the same.
Yeah.
How would you know that was Mars, or would you not know that that was just some facility on Earth somewhere that was underground?
Yeah, it
it
could
was
be
it was
Nevada.
it was only the Universal intro that like gave it away that it was actually Mars. Like you could have seen like a desert and been like, oh, it looks kind of like
It's
Mars. but
crazy
it
if
could
you
be
had
anything.
said they had like $60 million budget or whatever.
You know what's great about 2016? This is the very first level. You're on the surface of Mars, run around the rock surface.
Yeah, unlike the actual rock.
So in terms of setting, I feel like this is just the obvious one. Mars, UAC facility, and then a showdown in hell as the third act, I'd say.
Then you have like, if you want
That's
to
a good
film it in real
point.
life, is you got Death Valley, you got Nevada as well, like closer to Las Vegas. I mean,
Are you talking in terms of location where
yeah,
you
if you
film?
want to actually film.
Oh,
it,
yeah.
Then it's like you have outback of Australia as well. Like there's parts of Australia, like in the middle of Northern
That look
Territory.
pretty
Ayers Rock would be the
otherworldly.
entrance to a UAC
Yeah.
facility.
And they could fucking blow it up as well.
Where'd they shoot,
Jesus Christ.
You're not getting your dream of blowing up Ayers Rock.
where'd they shoot Fury Road?
Africa.
Yes,
Namibia?
yeah.
Was it Africa?
It was Africa.
Really?
Namibia?
I just wrote down in my notes, no Earth. No going to Earth in this movie.
Yeah, it's like Aliens and Predator and shit. Oh, not Predator, but Aliens movies.
Predator is very well set on Earth.
Yeah, but
Like, it is
Aliens,
so Earth.
the AVP in that. Why
Like,
on
if I
Earth?
could think of Earth, it'd be Predator.
But when it comes back to Doom and a possible Doom movie and where you set it and why, the reason, I think more importantly than just saying, yeah, Mars is where it should be. But here's another thing that people don't really understand. I'll reference another movie weirdly for this. This is because it's coming to mind. Like, in Wolf Creek, John McClane, his name not John McClane, he's from fucking...
Hard.
fucking Die Hard. Greg McClane.
Greg McClane.
Sorry, I got really anyway, sidetracked. But what he said was, like, one of the characters in that movie was the isolation.
Oh, one of the characters is the Outback.
Yeah. And I think that having a Doom movie set on Mars is kind of the same thing because
Yeah.
it's a desolate place where there's no one else to help you. You're an entire fucking world away from any kind of help.
Yeah, also, Mars ain't your Earth.
No, it's not your
You
natural
can't-
place to be.
You can't go out in the surface and be like,
It's
I feel at home.
the place that you're in is already hostile before all
Yeah.
the fucking demons. So that makes it even harder.
A
And that's-
facility is something you may recognize, but if you go outside, it's just uncharted territory,
which
literally.
does happen. But like the other thing is like I was saying, the planet, but also the fact that when you start, you know, a Doom story, everyone else is dead or pretty close to it. Like the two things are that you don't really have help from Earth, and you don't really have that many allies on your team.
Yeah.
There might be people with their own agendas around, but there aren't other fighters next to you battling it with you. You're not in a squad. You're one guy fighting against whatever. And
Actually, that's very interesting you've gotten onto this part, because what I also wrote in my notes was keep the movie claustrophobic.
yeah,
You, like, just
And-
being on Mars alone, you
it
feel
already
alone.
is because you have no help.
But going outside into hostile territory, what does that make you want to do? Go back to where it's safe, which is a fucking claustrophobic facility. So already, if you go outside, it makes you want to go back to where it's more claustrophobic. So it's like you can't get away, but you also don't want to stay where you are.
It's right in the thick of it, no matter what the fuck you do.
And that's why I think having no Earth is really important, because you don't want the audience to like feel like comfortable.
Yeah, you don't want them to have a moment where they're like, "Oh yeah, but we're just waiting for those reinforcements to arrive, and then it'll all be sweet."
Also, it's really
'Cause
compelling.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
It's really compelling to set it in the future where Earth is like fucked, and this is like
It's fucking Blade Runner.
it's
That's in that
it's
future.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk is still alive somehow. He's like, I told you should have listened to me, but no, you're all slaves to social media now. It's Blade Runner now.
Joe Rogan gave Elon Musk a joint. Now Joe Rogan's the cyber demon.
How about we launch hell into space? It's blood.
What if we bring Mars to us? There's so many demons in Doom to import into a movie, but we've got budgets to think about here, people, so we can't have every single demon that we want.
Lost Souls.
Man, fuck off with your lost souls. This is imps. We need imps. Imps are like the stormtroopers. They're the fodder.
Yeah, they are.
It's literally Hell's Army.
Yeah, they're the pawns.
Hell Knights, they're everyone's favorite. They're like the first tank to
Yeah,
fight.
they're badass, but they're also not
They
the
got-
most badass.
They got a great face where it's like just an angry mouth but no eyes. It's just like a extended forehead with no nose. Pinkies or whatever. Pinkies can be. It's just a fucking thing that runs at you and you can like shoot it, I guess. Revenant.
You want Revenants.
We want Revenants.
Yeah.
We all do because they are a badass enemy, both in the game.
Just a
and
fucking
in all the
skeleton with a
games.
jetpack.
And then the
With
fun is they have the
homing
best
missiles.
glory kills as well.
We just grab that turbine, just smash it in their
They
face.
fly away and explode.
I want me some Cacodemons too.
Cacodemons are an important and very iconic part of what
It's
Doom
like-
is.
yeah,
I
it's
reckon
like-
you need to have them.
Something compelling
And
about a
they
flying
fly.
demon
I
that,
know,
that
it's-
just
it's-
shoots at you. Like, Barons of Hell is an interesting one. I feel like the Barons of Hell, whenever they rock up in the game, makes your ass clench. Because it's like, shit, here we go. This is gonna,
Oh, if you got the chainsaw, it's fine though.
Yeah, but when you can't have... The chainsaw ain't gonna work the same way in the movie, bruh.
They're tough motherfuckers.
But they can't take a super shotgun shell to the face, so they're not that tough.
This is the movie rules,
You gotta
dude.
shoot them in the head a few times.
And when you got a big monster like the Baron of Hell,
Baron.
maybe one or at least
Head.
two. I feel like if you introduce one and you have to and you fights it in the movie, Doom Guy fights it in the movie, you'd be like, oh god, that must have been the big boss. And the second one rocks up, you're like, shit.
I think that's an important thing. I reckon is a lot of movies establish like, oh, here's like the next the big challenge or whatever. But in Doom there are so many of those, so many demons you can reference and be like, fuck, that was hard when I fought that one. Like Barons is one that comes to mind, but so do like from the original games like Archviles. They were a fucking pain in the
Yeah.
ass to deal with because they resurrect other enemies.
Alright, so this is another interesting point because I also wrote down a few dot points of what not to put in the movie. Because I feel like you don't want to have too much variety of demon at once, just because like if it just starts getting ridiculous and you can't.
I guess you're right, and you don't have the time span to introduce them as much as
Yeah,
you would in
and
game.
plus sequel potential.
Yeah, okay.
So
fair
I
enough,
wrote
fair
down
enough.
no Mancubus.
Yep.
We don't need
Incubus.
save the fat guy with the double. It's like such a great image for a sequel because it's like, what is that human? Is it?
This is Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wrote down one that I think really helps because after we just sat through an hour and 40 minutes of it, no zombies, no possessed humans, nothing like that. No.
I'd agree with that because it's too similar to so many movies that have already been made. Like, we've seen every possible fucking incarnation of a zombie movie. We don't need more of that shit in a Doom movie when it's about demons. It's about hell. And, like, yes, there are possessed humans in the game, in all the games, but, like, I agree with you in the fact that I don't think they should be focused on.
So what, imps are going to be your cannon
They,
fodder?
yeah,
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
an easy enough costume to make practical. Plus, you do motion capture for like hordes of them, blah blah blah.
And Lost Souls are still in.
And it's like you can have one lost soul. You can save humans for the sequel when you go to Earth.
Yeah.
Because that would be a big thing about the sequel is like going back to Earth, just like Doom Eternal, the way they're setting that up. All right, so changes from the game to the movie. We've done a lot of sucking the 2016 game's dick, but there's a lot of that we can't actually. You don't want to translate it 100% to the screen because then it's predictable. Because people play the game in ahead of time of the movie, be like, oh, it's just the game all over again. I think don't do the Spider Mastermind as the final boss. Don't have it be like Cyber Demon, the two guards of hell, and then Spider Mastermind. I think the Cyber Demon is so fucking iconic.
I agree with that.
That should be the finale villain of the movie.
Oh, I think so for the first one of... Like, if you were to make a Doom movie properly, I think the Cyber Demon would be the one that you would work up towards.
Because like the Spider Mastermind, literally in the next game got dumbed down to this tiny thing called an Arachnotron, and it's like
It wasn't dumbed down, that was just like...
no, but it's the
another
same
enemy.
thing again in a way. It's like
Kinda.
the brain on spider legs. But this is the weird thing for me because all of you have played the games growing up. I haven't. So when I played Doom 2016 and it got to the final boss and Olivia Pierce goes into the ground and then a giant brain on robotic spider legs came out, I was just like, oh, I don't get it. It's cool looking, but I don't really get it because like the Cyber Demon was repurposed by humans, and the Guardians of Hell were kind of just like Rakshi from Bionicles. It's a slug in a little body.
What was the villain from the Doom 3?
It was also a
Cyber Demon again, because
Was that the
Yeah.
big bad guy?
The
Yeah.
very last boss was a Cyber Demon.
Well, there you go.
'Cause I
I
don't-
think that is, although it's predictable in a sense, people know it's coming. It's almost like, oh yeah, if you
Yeah,
don't
but
do it,
people
it's
want-
people want that. Like the Cyber Demon is like 22 feet tall. It has horns. It has fucking mechanics through its legs. It has a
Everything's
fucking,
bigger than
its
Optimus.
primary weapon is a rocket launcher on one of its arms. It's a pretty badass fucking.
It'll fuck Optimus and Megatron up at the same time.
It's a pretty ridiculous enemy. So yeah, I think for a final enemy, it's the most iconic by far. Spider Mastermind is nice and all that, and I agree with you that I don't think that it should be the final boss.
Yeah, no hate towards Spider Mastermind, but Cyber Demon is like you making the movie is
Yeah.
very
And
iconic.
I reckon
Doom
it
as
has
well,
to be that one.
The
Yeah.
Spider Mastermind's fucking easy. You can kill it with a plasma rifle.
So I think a final note is probably the easiest one: weapons.
Weapons, double barrel shotgun, minigun, BFG.
Plasma rifle's pretty important.
How does Doom Guy hold all these guns at once like the game? That's an interesting point.
Does he find them as he goes? Is that
I
how you
reckon a good plot structure is he finds a new gun per sequence, and then it runs out, grabs another gun.
Maybe
from
as a
somewhere else.
mainstay, like he keeps a shotgun on his
Yeah,
back or something like
He's
that.
always got the super shotgun and his chain switch just hanging on his belt.
Or he finds it a
strap
bit
it.
later. He finds it later, like he doesn't find it immediately, but he finds a way to keep it around him. But
And then obviously the BFG could be the final thing he picks up.
yeah,
In the UAC facility. Kill the Cyber Demon by shoving the BFG in his mouth. Alright, well I think that wraps up the discussion of what a new Doom movie should be. I did realize we have skipped over what the UAC's backstory should be in terms of how they raised hell and like the. But I'm just gonna say this: Doom.
UAC's just Twitter.
Just Alex Jones. Alex Jones could be the Mancubus.
Oh, how controversial would it be if it turned out that was actually fucking SpaceX instead of UAC?
No, it's not too late. Change the logo at least.
Someone's in a real big hurry to get to Mars, and it happens to be the CEO of fucking SpaceX.
I just say, just completely take 2016 Doom's whole backstory of the UAC, like they're full on like into possession and
It did a lot of shit right.
satanic rituals to like
Yeah.
everything. That was such interesting background stuff as like propaganda, like donate your heart to raise the next Baron of Hell, and people like fuck yeah, and like when all the people bowing to the Doom Guy sarcophagus, all that shit was so fucking funny and interesting, but like great as background stuff. And I just say, you just had more fun with that in the movie.
I'd also like to point out as one last thing that I get to say is that I realized that making a movie like this work is a monumental effort on everyone's part. Like if you were to actually create this thing, it's no easy task because there's so many things to balance, and you see so many movies and game adaptations like fuck up like on simple things. So even keeping these things in mind, executing it would be another thing entirely. Yeah, I know that it, like, as much as I've said my opinion about it this whole time, I know that it wouldn't be easy to do so. So yeah, if someone does manage to do it or attempts it in a proper fashion, yeah, pulling it off would be just as hard as coming up with like the right reasons to do it. Also, budget fucking helps.
George
That'd be
Miller,
awesome.
he could probably do it. Just fucking do it.
I think Hugo Martin and the guy. I wish I fucking knew his name off by heart, but I've seen the Hugo Martin interview more. The two guys that set up Doom Eternal at QuakeCon, let them direct the fucking movie.
I'm also gonna say, like, Dwayne Johnson, you're like really built and you're tough and all that rest of the shit, but Cole over and fucking kick your ass.
Why is that?
Because he's a Kiwi.
And?
Because he's Kiwi.
Oh, they're going to say he's fucking Lord of the Rings character.
And also, yeah, he is AME.
And Dredd.
And Dredd. I think Dredd was an incredible re-audition for Carl Urban to be in a Doom movie again, but done right, the way it should be. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed listening to this. I think we've covered all the bases of what we think of Doom. A new Doom movie should be very inspired by the games, obviously, as a fucking Doom movie should be. Alright, catch yous later.
Ta-ta.
Bye, guys.